Cause if you ain't Maui styling, you just living on an island. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 There is sunshine in your heart. It's been with you from the start. Lift your head, look to the heavens, then you will feel brand new again. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Reach out your hand and help each other. Your mother, your father, your sister and brother. There is love in this family. Pick yourself up and get on your feet. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Makena styling, up country styling, Campo styling, Kahanapali styling, Hana styling, Waiahu styling, Bahia styling, Keanai styling. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Maui styling, don't stop me now. Maui styling.
Aloha! Welcome to another Mama Presents. I'm Jason Schwartz, your host. Mama, Maui Arts and Music Association. We've been here in Maui since 1991, and we've had the great pleasure of having some very interesting people sitting in our studio. Today, we are here with Sabo.
Hey,
Hey,
how's it?
welcome.
Hey, yeah.
You know, you really exemplify, I like to think of like a standard bearer, a torch bearer of what the Maui Arts and Music Association is all about. Because you, in your life and professions, embrace music and art, and you have very significant cultural, I want to say, ramifications of your art. Like, we did a show together here in Maui about just your art, and we were sharing literally hundreds of pieces. And right now you'll see a couple of those pieces being put on the screen. And did you know that there are a couple of pieces on the screen right now?
Yeah, that's incredible. Is that what's going on?
That's going on right now.
So
We're
that's
showing
an
some of
editing
your-
function of your capabilities in the video realm.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like you have so much work, and we did all those images. I figured, why not bring them in here? That way we can just sit and relax and talk a little bit and let the images do the walking on the art.
I can't believe that I did as many images in a millennium as I did.
Now, you have been painting for years, yes?
Yes, I have.
When did you begin?
Well, at 7 years old is actually when I did my first oil painting that won a contest.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in Washington grade school, you know. I was 7 years old, and I did a painting with material I took from my father's studio without asking, and he wasn't even angry.
What does your father do?
My father was doing oil paintings.
Oh, he was an artist as well.
Yes. And
Wow.
I took the materials and I assembled them. I made my own stretcher bar, I stretched the canvas. I used tacks instead of staples. And for my sizing, I used French rabbit skin glue as a sizing. It was like
Sizing me.
previous to gessos, like we use acrylic gessos. I used a sizing material that was French rabbit skin glue. It was from glue made from rabbit skins, mixed with marble dust. And this put a real slate-like surface on my canvases, my early pieces. Well, the first piece I did was the Washington Monument at Washington Grade School in West Allis, Wisconsin. And it was a sinker because it was the Washington Monument.
What does a sinker mean?
That means you can win it just by picking the right topic, you know, picking the right category, you know, for what your image is going to be.
What kind of style did you use?
That style was brushwork. You know, I used brushes and I cleaned the brushes, but I think I used 3 brushes on it. I used a round, like a number 8, and then I used a flat, like a 1-inch flat to put my background in. And you had another brush there that was almost like a Japanese lettering brush.
You do like realism, or do you use?
No, it was more in the school of a primitive landscape. Okay, I didn't have any people in it. I just had the Washington Monument, and I had a specific view of it that didn't exist. You know, it was something I made up, and that's what Impressionism and Expressionism is all about.
I see.
I wanted to make a more liberal school of work, of art, that's more pertinent to everybody. So I said, well, since I am a 3rd generation art painter, and my son is the 4th generation, I can start a school of art based upon an expression that he had, and that was Pigeon Express.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about that because, to me, is that his concept that really seemed to be yours, from what I'm seeing.
Well, I actually am the grandfather of that school because even my grandkids, my 4 grandsons, have done work in that school. And what I hope to get is like more generations and more artists interested. And I have more artists interested here right on Maui.
What is Pigeon Express? We put it in a few words.
Well, Pigeon Express was a term, okay? My son came up to me one day. He was looking at what I was doing, and I was using unusual tools to sculpt oil and canvas. And he says, you know, how some people speak in Pidgin.
Here in Hawaii, we have this local dialect, I guess it is, right?
Pidgin.
Pidgin is sort of like a local style of English.
I can say, where does my son say, where is he going? I say, he stay going.
He stay going?
He stay going. Okay, we like something better. It's mo better.
More better.
Mo better. That's mo better. Mo better for you, mo better for me. You know, there's a lot of terms in Pidgin that just open up a freedom to give a certain flavor to the language.
So Pigeon Express in the art
Only
world
exists on Maui. It's Pigeon Express. Is the only place in the Hawaiian Islands where they get pigeon like that.
So it's an expression using Pigeon, using
Yes,
the local,
and-
expanded. That's what you really mean by it.
Having allowances for anything to get the explanation through to another party with a lot of aloha.
Okay.
You know. But it has no rules. It has no regulations.
Well, like when you see the pictures that we've been flashing up on screen, they're all your images. So I see things and I think of something that doesn't strive to get detail. You use a lot of color, and you have a great desire to play with and work with different textures and different tools for creation. Like, I love when you told me that you did this piece with a samurai sword.
Oh, I've worked
But-
with 250 different tools
Wow.
in the
Can you
last
imagine
year. In the last year, 250 different tools.
Like, by examples.
Well, Afro picks, plastic brushes, plastic combs, 9-inch nails. I like to nail it, you know. And
So what do you do with these nails or with these combs? They're the ones spreading the paint medium?
yeah, They're actually used as trowels, you know, or in etching tools as combs, you know. In ancient tattoos in the South Pacific, they used rakes that looked like an Afro pick. And then they would put the pigment in there. Well, I've done this on canvas. I've dragged the tattoo rakes across the canvas and then put the pigment in. So I was like tattooing oils, you know. But whatever you're doing with it is, you have to have some explanative. In Pigeon Express, you don't. You don't even have to explain it. It can be a family tradition, and you can keep it a secret. You know.
So this Pigeon Express is a local quality art expression.
On canvas, oil on canvas, specific medium.
It seems to me, though, personally, that it doesn't only seem like a local thing. It seems like a core for something that expresses that origin. I think of it as primitive originality, where you're not worried about the way the light falls on the fabric, and you've got to darken it a little so it matches exactly. That's not the detail you're really working in. You're working in a more abstract way, where you communicate what something is, and you get a feeling for it through its texture that you use. Or
mixing colors on canvas without making mud. Okay, everything, all my strokes are really bold. I am across the canvases, a lot of them. From one end to the other, in my movement, you know, it's more of a maestro with oil than just, you know, a painter. See, if you're using tools to apply oil to canvas, you're doing something that's unacceptable. You know, basically in modernism it is, abstract expressionism it is. But what I consider painters in the school of portraiture, they look at some of my portraits and they don't appreciate the values of what I'm doing.
I see.
And I think my portraits are very important. You know, I've done 240 portraits in my lifetime. And I think they're very important because I've gone from things looking like people to things looking like characters. I like the more character imagery, you know, so, and I got a sense of humor now. I didn't have a sense of humor when I first started out in art. I was pretty strict. I was doing a lot of churches and a lot of landscapes, and but oil and canvas, you know, over 3,000 times.
Wow.
In 54 countries.
So,
On beaches, on mountains, on by streams, in the woods, you know.
one second. We're gonna hang on because that noise will definitely be right in the middle of our soundtrack. So we're gonna pick up about the streams.
Yeah, but that's how I live. I live leisurely. That's what you get if you do that.
So you've done this art all over the world?
Yeah. The last place was 3 years ago. I came back from doing Southeast Asia. There I took 35 pieces with me, oils on canvas, large format, 3 feet by 4 feet, and I donated them to hospices where people were dying, and hospitals, elderly care centers, burn centers. You know, they still got a problem with landmines going on. I went over there and hung some art, you know. So that was my contribution to my journey and my quest in the East at that time. And I had a lot of fun doing it. So sometimes I'm not painting. I'm, you know, selling art, and I'm developing contacts in the art world, and I'm donating art. You know, I tried to donate it here a couple times, and bureaucracy is different.
Wow.
You know, interesting.
Well, I've been really always enjoying your stuff. I mean, each piece is such an interesting expression. You explaining your art. Wait till you see some of this. Maybe we should pick one. Why don't we go look at one of your pieces, and how does that seem?
Yeah.
Good. Let's do it.
Let's look at some.
So tell me about this one.
Okay, this is 1,001 hearts. What I mean by that is I did 100 hearts 10 times in movement. Each time I'm talking about movement, this was done with different knives. It was done with splatter. You take on your palette and you make your oil up. Your palette is all your colors of oil that you're using for a specific painting. And then rather than applying it delicately to the canvas, I kind of took and threw it on the canvas. Then I worked it. Now, I had to work it into an image, so I did a heart image. Now, I did this for about 4 hours. And the images that I counted, the times that I did a heart, was 1,000 times. So I did one more to make it 1,001 hearts. And that is the energy that it took to make this creation. And I didn't make any mud in it, you know, which is really good, because when you're adding colors to colors and you're working different levels, you can turn something into mud. But at this point in my career, I don't do that. You know, it just doesn't happen anymore. But it used to when I first started out.
Well, let's look at that next one right there.
This one right
Hey,
here,
what's that one?
this is Fairies in the Stream. There's a little kind of male, a little female figure down here in his stream with these kind of islands, okay? That's like in Southeast Asia. If you go to Koh Phangan, Koh Samui, you know, down there in the South China Sea, the islands are formed differently. And this could be like a nuclear sky. And this cloud formation looks like almost like smoke was blown out of the volcano here that's going off in the form of these big UFOs. And they're in the flowers, they're just hanging around by the water.
So this is Pigeon Express, right?
This is, I'm able to escape.
An open expression with no rules.
No rules, but wonderful, colorific, you know, expression. Totally different palette than anybody else's.
Now, someone told me you used to work with Andy Warhol. What's that about?
Oh, when I worked in the factory, yeah, well, we were students in New York City.
Really?
Yeah. NYU is the campus for artists in America, especially in the 60s and 70s, if you wanted to meet anybody.
Uh-huh.
And Ilan worked for him also, but he was doing light shows.
Alon Vital.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And they had a band there every day, you know, playing music, and it was a constant party. So what we got to do was be part of the party. All we had to do was a little work, get some work done. And we always had something to eat, but, you know, gourmet foods, you know what I mean? I mean, really happening.
So was that the beginning of your art career or no?
Well, I think that I was doing art before that, but I grounded out there. In the East Village, they have a place called Washington Square. And in the summertime, they have a juried art show. Well, I took first place and sold all my work I made in upstate New York, and got in the art show just by ruse. I just pulled up with a van, broke, and let me in, and they let me in. That somebody didn't show, and they had another space, and okay, you can put your stuff out there. And I did a live piece, and none of the artists would work in a crowd. So I threw together a piece there, and I had let everybody that came by and looked at my stuff do a little something in the painting. So, of course, it was a community focus, the piece that we did together. And that's what won first in the show.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool. And I stayed in the girls' dorm for about a month after that. Yeah, they passed me around. That's what made me an artist, though, New York. And then, well, my first wife was an art professor. When they say, where'd you get your instruction? Everybody I've known, ever since I was a kid, has had some, you know, creative side to them. So it was all kinds of, you know, sharing and learning experience, and I just chose to be specifically an oil painter. You know, I really do other stuff, but it doesn't last. It doesn't have the same durability. This stuff is, you can wash it and clean it. This is about a 1/4 inch thick. It's going to last about 2,000 years.
Wow.
You know, I think so.
Well, good. You know, I don't know in recent time when I've met somebody who really lives his work. You're a full-time painter. You're a full-time oil painter.
That's what I apply all my energy toward. And if I had some more time and some more energy, it would go in the same direction.
I also know that sometimes you've done art shows. You have another show planned?
Yeah, what I'm doing right now is I'm developing a web page. And I got one I just started today as we're speaking. I just got online. And none of these things are easy. I'm computer literate. I can do everything, but I didn't have a machine, okay, a PC. So now I've got one. Now I can do this web page, and then I can approach people on the net to do my next exhibition. Because what I want to do is take this show around and just show it to people if I can. And I had one offer, but I don't want to go there. It's Canada. It's cold. Toronto.
Brr.
I love to go there sometime, but
Yeah, but not to
I
base
can't go in
yourself
the
there.
winter. You know, I'm impervious to cold. I just stay away from it. If they had some surfing,
Excuse me a minute. There seems to be a little noise
Yeah.
challenge. Where's that coming from?
That's our. We live in a housing with a lot of kids around us, and they're just got out of school. They're part of my free program of giving free art lessons. They each done a painting already, an oil painting. I made about 50 oil painters in the neighborhood, just in my community that's here. All
Wow.
local kids.
So you get them involved in art.
I let them do one piece, and then the next one let them do. Some of them done 2-3 pieces already. You know, I've got some back as presents. I have upstairs. I got a little collection. You know, that they got to give it back for some reason or another, and I take it.
Do you have any goal of what you'd like to do with your
Yeah,
life and your work?
I had really a good idea. China is half the world's population. I'd like to take this show and frame it out, max it out, put it on a Pullman railroad car, you know, a sleeper and everything with all my art in it, and pull off of every siding, every little bohunk town in China, and break my art out right there at the train station, and have a show, play some music, and go to the next little place. You know, a real Barnum and Bailey approach to Western civilization, art, and music. You
Well,
know?
Would you put money into peace?
I hope so. You know, but we're not getting the support that we need just for expressionism. On the world level, okay, all our attributes that are creative should be encouraged. You know, if anybody is doing anything creatively, encourage them. But how do we stimulate creativity? You have to take creativity around to people and expose them to it. And they say, this is what my art is about. They look at it and they say, I can do that.
Hmm?
You know? And that's why I did it. Is I want to encourage creativity. I want them to say, I can do that. And then let them try and do it.
You know, I think that in the time that we have left, we should get Sabo to play a little music for us. What do you think? Do you think that would be a good idea?
I'll play a song.
Would you play a song for
Yeah.
us?
I'll play something. Let's see if the
Sabo.
guitar's in tune. It might take me a second.
I'm going to jump off so I can frame this right.
Hi, let me play a song for you. This is called Climb the Highest Mountain. Oh, I climbed the highest mountain, you know I would swim the widest sea. Yeah, only if I know that you're waiting there for me. And across the sand, you know they burning sand of time. Yeah, only if I know that you needed me one time. Your friend, I'll be your friend. 'Cause you know you are, yeah, you're my everything. Yeah, all the love and joy this whole life may bring. But most of all, you're a very special friend. And you lighten up my world, yeah, like a rainbow's in, my friend. I'll be your friend. Yeah, I climbed the highest mountain, you know I would swim the water sea. Yeah, only if I know that you're waiting there for me. And cross the sand, you know, that burning sand of time. Yeah, only if I know I could find you one time, my friend. Because the road of life has many twists and turns. Every step along the way, yeah, is a lesson learned. But every friendship made is one god darn hard earned. Cause it's that one true love, baby, that's all we yearn as friends. I'll be a friend to the undying end. Your friend. So what do you think of that?
Through the magic of television. I'm here, I'm not there, I'm here. You know, that was an interesting song. You write that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a, you know, one of those love songs.
As you were singing it, I was thinking, wow, Sabo sounds like Jimi Hendrix. You know that?
Jimi Hendrix was a friend.
Jimi Hendrix sings like you sing.
Well, he did. You know, I don't want to say that I taught him how to sing because that's not true. But when I lived and worked in Janice's last band, okay,
Oh, you were?
she said to me, she said, the spirit of Jimmy lives on in you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, because I had a certain vernacular that came out of that era in the hate, okay. When I say the hate, I don't mean H-A-T-E, I mean H-A-I-G-H-T.
H-A-I-G-G. Yeah.
Which is Haight-Ashbury,
San
Francisco, which was the fulcrum point for the peace movement throughout the world. We had be-ins and love-ins and we had happenings, and it was all for world peace. And all my brothers and sisters that were from that era, I hope they found peace, you know.
I hope so too. Well, we really appreciate having you here with us, and we're going to do some more TV with Sabo here real soon. But I just wanted to give you people a chance to get to know and be introduced to one of our local heroes, Sabo. See, lets it all hang loose.
Sally Wong bought a sister real well. Sally Wong bought a sister real well. Take me up on a hill, yeah. Give me one day free. She said, hang glide away up in the sky. Hang glide away up in the sky. This boy don't wanna die, you know. He just trying to get high. I'm heading on down. Yes, I'm heading on down. Show bottom crash the ground, you know. I'm heading on down. So glad it cooled out there. I only had another feet of air. Oh, life without a care. I sure hope there's enough there. Yeah. Sally Wong bought a sister real well. Sally Wong bought a sister real well. Take you upon the hill, give you one big thrill. She's gonna say, gone and strap that glider on. Gone and strap that glider on. Gonna get you off the ground. Gone and strap that glider on. Get it, Sally. 10,000 feet up in the air. 10,000 feet up in the air. This boy ain't gotta carry on. 10,000 feet up in the air.
Well, thank you for joining us, Sabo. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.